I'm Barry Tramel, and I say Dana Holgorsen might not be the hottest coaching candidate in Oklahoma.
Yeah, there might be somebody down in Norman that gets that head coaching job before the Oklahoma State offensive coordinator. From the Opelka Studios in Oklahoma City, you're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson. Barry, a name that always pops up when head coaching searches have come up in the last few years is Brent Venables. Is there a chance he's the guy that goes first?
I think there's a better chance that Brent Venables would leave this season for a head coaching job than Dana Holgorsen. For this reason, I think Mike Gundy told us last week. Well, I know Mike Gundy told us last week he expects Holgorsen to take over his own program soon, but he doesn't think it'll be this year. He thinks that universities will want to see another year out of Holgorsen, especially this, with Oklahoma State returning all those guys, expected to have a high-powered offense next year. Holgorsen's options and opportunities expect to expand, expect to mushroom. This probably isn't the year for Holgorsen to make the jump and get his own program. Meanwhile, Brent Venables has been a hot candidate for a long time, but he's still been young. He's still in his 30s. I think this might be the time. Colorado is an example of a program that doesn't have the money to go out and hire a big-name head coach. However, when you don't have money, one thing you can do is hire an up-and-coming assistant. And I think Brent Venables would be an outstanding candidate at a place like Colorado.
I think both Brent Venables and Kevin Wilson are guys that could potentially get head coaching jobs if the right job came along. I don't know if those guys would say I have to be in a BCS conference job, or if they would consider possibly a move to one of those non-automatic qualifier conferences. But I have to think that there's going to come a time when one, if not both of those guys, gets an offer to go out. And we're going to see some movement. Obviously, Colorado's already open. Wouldn't be surprised if Mark Richt was potentially axed from Georgia. Obviously, that's a very high-profile job. But, there's going to be some movement. There always is, Barry. But I'm with you. I'm not so sure Dana Holgorsen's a for sure jump after this year. I think he's got a chance to move into a job like a Georgia, but not right now.
Well, the thing on Holgorsen is this. Mike Gundy wants to make sure that Dana does not leave for another coordinator job, and Gundy doesn't think he will. Mike Gundy says that Holgorsen is in a great spot at OSU. For one thing, he's got the great talent, the great success. It's a top 10 team, don't forget right now. But what I'm seeing with Holgorsen is this. Next year, he would be a really hot candidate. You do it once and people say, oh, that's nice. You do it 2 in a row and people say, this guy knows what he's doing. And I think the year for Holgorsen to be the really hot candidate next fall.
Yeah, I do too. And you know what? I think we've seen sort of telltale signs from year to year that Brent Venables and or Kevin Wilson, but I think Venables is probably the more likely candidate. They're being talked to, they're being talked about, and I know there's a lot of people in the state of Oklahoma that would like to see those defenses, the offenses at OU play better. But let's be honest, the scheme has worked there, both offensively and defensively, for several years. They've won a ton of games with those guys at the helm. So if you've got that type of consistency and obviously that kind of ability to coach over a unit, defense, offense, those guys have what it takes to be a head coach. Just a matter of the right opportunity coming along, and perhaps Colorado in the Big 12, an area where these guys recruit. Maybe it becomes a little more of a feasible option. Obviously, Colorado moving to the Pac-10, but they're still going to draw from this area. That might make a guy like Brent Venables even more attractive to Colorado. We'll see how it all shakes out here in the next couple months. Hey, stay with the best coverage team anywhere. NewsOK.com and every day in the Oklahoman.